Hi children, good morning everyone. In today's class I am going to continue the lesson Nutrition in Organisms. So in this lesson we have covered the nutrition in plants, isn't it? Plants are autotrophic and also heterotrophic, you have seen. So as an autotrophic, that is green plants which prepare their food by themselves by using the carbon dioxide from the air, water and mineral salts from the soil. In the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, they prepare glucose, that is starch, isn't it? And hence these are called as autotrophic plants, or the process in which they perform, they prepare the food is called as photosynthesis. We have known this. And also as heterotrophic plants, you have seen that they are parasitic plants, saprophytic plants, insectivorous plants and symbionts, isn't it? So in this nutrition in organisms chapter, you have covered nutrition in plants. Up to now you have studied, isn't it? So green plants, you know that they perform autotrophic mode of nutrition. Autotrophic mode of nutrition is performed by the green plants. We have studied this. And next, and certain yellow colored or the yellow colored leaves also, they have the hidden chlorophyll inside it which can perform the photosynthesis. Okay, they also prepare the food by themselves. So green plants prepare the food by themselves. So the nutrition in plants, we can say that it is autotrophic and also it is heterotrophic also. Heterotrophic is some plants which cannot prepare their own food and depend on other organisms for food. So plants also perform heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Examples, they are parasites, saprophytes, insectivorous plants. Though insectivorous plants or green plants, they depend on insects for food because they lack nitrogen nutrient for them. So they depend on insects for getting nitrogen. There is deficiency of nitrogen in the areas where they grow. Okay, so these are also heterotrophic, we can include. Though they are green plants and prepare their own food, they are heterotrophic, that is they depend on insects for food. So insectivorous plants. Okay, and next, symbionts. Parasites like cuscuta, they depend on host plant for food. They do not have leaves and do not have chlorophyll too. So they cannot prepare their own food. They depend on host plant for food. They have the special roots called haustoria which penetrate into the deeper layers of the tissue of the host plant and take the food from the host plants. In turn, the host plant gradually, the strength of the host plant decreases. Okay, next, saprophytes. Saprophytes, best example is mushrooms, red mouth. So they belong to saprophytes. Saprophytes normally depend upon the dead and decayed organic matter for their food. Okay, so they take the food from the dead organisms and they they clean the environment by using the dead organisms, that is the nutrients present in the dead organisms. Okay, and next, insectivorous plants, as I told you earlier, that they are Utricularia, Venus flytrap, Utricularia, Venus flytrap, Drosidas, Nepenthes, etc. These are the insectivorous plants. They grow in the areas deficient of nitrogen. They get the nitrogen requirements from insects. They modify their leaves to trap the insects. Okay, so though they are green in color and prepare their own food, they lack nitrogen, and to get nitrogen they depend on insects for their nitrogen requirements. Okay children, so this is about the insectivorous plants. Next, coming to the symbionts. The symbiotic relationship is a mutual relationship for food and shelter. It is a relationship between two organisms for food and shelter. That is mainly, you can see the examples of lichens. And also nitrogen fixing bacteria present in some leguminous plants. They also take shelter from the leguminous plants and give the nitrogen to these plants. In such a manner, you can say that there is a symbiotic relationship between these leguminous plants and the bacteria. So two organisms are interdependent on each other for either food and shelter. These are called as symbionts, and the relationship between them is a symbiotic relationship. The mode of nutrition is symbiotic mode of nutrition or heterotrophic mode of nutrition. You know that in heterotrophic mode of nutrition, the organisms depend on other organisms for food. So this is the revision of the previous class. Now coming to the nutrition in animals. So we have seen that the nutrition in animals, the food is taken from outside into the body. Is it clear? So food is taken into the body from outside in most of the animals. So what happens after the ingestion, that is taking in food? The food gets digested inside the body of the animals. The food gets digested inside the body of the animals. Animals are heterotrophic in nature. They depend either on plants or other animals for food. That you know very well, as you have learned it in your previous classes itself about the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Is it clear? And now coming to the animals, you can see that the various steps of that is the intake of food. After the food is ingested, what happens to the food? The food is first ingested, that is called as ingestion. Intake of food is called as ingestion. Next, digestion. Digestion is the conversion of the macromolecules into micromolecules, that is simple substances. Some large molecules are converted into simple substances in the body. It is called as digestion. Digestion, it is taken inside the body. It is taken place inside the body. Ingestion, digestion. After digestion, the digested food gets absorbed into the body. That is mixes into the blood. Absorption. So first absorption. Next it mixes. It becomes a part of the body in absorption. Next, assimilation. In assimilation, it becomes the part of the blood inside our body. Next, egestion, that is removal of waste material from the body is called as egestion. After the assimilation process, after the nutrients are mixed into the blood, the waste material come out of the body through feces, in the form of feces, through the process called as egestion. Egestion is the excretion, that is the removal of waste from our body. What are removed? What are the waste materials? Feces, urine, sweat. These are the waste materials that is removed from our body. So the process is called as egestion. So these are the steps. These are the steps that we can know that during this type of Holozoic nutrition where the animals perform, that is intake of food into the digestion takes place inside the body of the organism. Digestion takes place inside the body of the organism. Note down. So once again I repeat, children, what is Holozoic nutrition? Holozoic nutrition is the food that is taken in the solid or liquid form from outside and digestion takes place inside the body. Food is in the form of food is taken in the form of solid or liquid. Solid or liquid from outside. From outside and digested inside the body. And that food is digested inside the body. This is called as Holozoic nutrition, in which it is a type of heterotrophic nutrition where the food is taken in the form of solid or liquid form, and the digestion takes place inside the body. It undergoes these 5 steps. They are ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and digestion. Is it clear? So, this is about the steps that are involved in the Holozoic nutrition. Ingestion means intake of food. Digestion, that is the conversion of the food, macromolecules, that is larger molecules of food into smaller molecules or simple substances, we can say. Okay, and next absorption. Absorption is the transfer of the food into the blood or into the body of the food into the body is called as absorption. Next, assimilation. After transfer of the food into the blood in the body, during absorption, it becomes the part of the body. The nutrient becomes the part of the body. That is called as assimilation. Next, digestion. Excretion or the removal of the waste material from the body. It is called as digestion. Okay children, once again, ingestion, taking in of food, digestion, conversion of larger molecules into simple substances, absorption, transfer of the food into the blood, assimilation, which means the food that is absorbed becomes a part of the body, and digestion, removal of the waste materials from the body. These are the steps involved in the Holozoic nutrition. You have to write the steps and also explain what each steps mean. Okay, so that is about the Holozoic nutrition. Now we will see about the nutrition in amoeba. What is amoeba? Amoeba is a unicellular organism. So, organisms are unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular means the organism consists of only a single cell. It consists of only single cell. All the life processes are performed by single cell only. Whereas in some multicellular organisms that contains more number of cells in their body, each cell performs a specific function. They are called as multicellular organisms. So amoeba is a unicellular organism. So now you are seeing nutrition in amoeba. Nutrition in amoeba. What is this amoeba? As I said, this is a unicellular organism. Uni means single. Uni means single. Single cell. Single cell performs all the life processes. What are the life processes? As I said you earlier, ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, digestion. These are all the life processes that are performed in our body. So these are performed in amoeba by only a single cell. So this single cell performs all the life processes. Here, this amoeba is irregular in shape. This is irregular in shape. It consists of the cell membrane, outer cell membrane, which helps for the protection and gives the shape to the body. This is the cell membrane. Inside, in the center, there is a nucleus or the cell organelle, structural and functional unit of the organism, and it forms the integral part of the cell. So, in the cell, which is the structural and functional unit of an organism, the nucleus forms the integral part of the cell, and it also contains numerous food vacuoles, develops the food vacuoles, and inside there is a fluid-like structure. It is called as cytoplasm. It is cytoplasm. So this is the structure of amoeba. This is the structure of amoeba, where you can see these protrusions. They always change. Amoeba is irregular in shape. Why it is irregular in shape? Amoeba is irregular in shape. It always forms the protrusions, and these protrusions changes. So it moves inside and out in order to move the body and also to take in the food or capture the food. These protrusions are called as this type of protrusions you have seen, isn't it? So they are called as pseudopodia. What are they called? Pseudopodia. Pseudo means false. Podia means feet. They contain false feet. There are feet which help for locomotion, and they often changes. Due to that, it often changes its shape. Its shape is not particular. Okay, it often changes in shape. So it is irregular in shape. Amoeba is a unicellular organism. It is present in the ponds and rivers inside, and you can see these taking in food, so developing the vacuoles inside. So what are these vacuoles for? If these vacuoles, when they take in the food, their main food is of dead and decayed organic matter, bacteria, algae, diatoms, which are present in the water. They are present in the water, isn't it? So they take the bacteria, algae, or the dead organisms in the water. They decompose these organisms, isn't it? So they take in these organisms as it is through the protrusions. What do? They form, this vacuole is formed through the changes or in the protrusions, and then when the food particle comes near it, they swallow or capture the food particle inside. Is it clear, children? So they capture the food particle and slowly it enters. Slowly this food particles, that is ingestion. First step, this is ingestion. Next it enters inside. The food particles enters inside. After ingestion it becomes digestion. After digestion, what happens? It mixes with the blood inside. Okay, then it forms a part of the body, which is called as assimilation. So later this is excreted or in the form of digestion. So it is again excreted out in the form of digestion. Okay, so this is called as digestion. So I will show you through the pictorial representation how the various life processes performed by amoeba, that is unicellular organism. Okay children, first you draw this diagram and name the parts. See this picture of amoeba, children. Here you are going to see about the various life processes that are performed by intake of food, after intake of food by the amoeba. What I told, the food is taken through the protrusions of the pseudopodia. So protrusions of the pseudopodia, food is intaken, and then that process is called as ingestion. You know very well. What is that process called? Ingestion. Okay, so you know what is the food that is taken by amoeba? Bacteria, algae, diatoms, dead organisms, etc. that are present in the pond, isn't it? So they take the food. They are unicellular organisms. All the life processes are performed by a single cell. It contains liquid substance, that is cytoplasm inside the cell, and in the center there is a dense nucleus. Okay, and a food vacuole is also present. So there are many food vacuoles, and when the food particle comes near it, a vacuole moves through it, open it, and captures the food particle, and then it enters. This is called as digestion. In the larger particles of the food particles are converted to the simple forms in the process of digestion. Then inside the body, and digestion takes place inside the body of the organism, that is here it is amoeba. So from ingestion, the process is digestion that takes place. See the picture, children. So the food particle is inside the body, now in the digestion. Next, absorption. Absorption is transfer of the food into the blood. Here the transfer of the food is taken place into the blood, and then absorbed food material becomes the part of the body of amoeba. See here. So this is assimilation. This process is called assimilation. Becomes the part of the body. This is the vacuole. Food vacuoles. There are numerous food vacuoles. And after assimilation, the undigested or the waste material comes out of the body through these protrusions itself. Okay, so this is the protrusions. The undigested waste material comes out of the body through the protrusions. This process is called as digestion. Hope you have understood this process of intake of food by the nutrition, that is nutrition in amoeba. How the process takes place: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and digestion. All the 5 steps we have to show through the diagrammatic representation. Hope you have understood. Is it clear, children, the picture for you? So here you can observe the picture clearly, which tells you about the process of intake of food by amoeba and how the various life process, that is from the ingestion to excretion process, how does it takes place. So complete the process, the holozoic nutrition that is performed by amoeba is mentioned through the diagrammatic representation. Hope you have understood this, children. Now we will move to the animals like cows. So how do the cows like ruminants take their food? You already studied about the process of rumination in your 6th standard, isn't it? So what is rumination? Rumination is a process of intake of food by the ruminants, that is cow, buffalo, goat, sheep, camel. They all take the grass. They take the grass by plucking it with their teeth, and they swallow it as it is into their stomach. Then what happens to this food in the stomach in these ruminants? This food forms the curd in the stomach. Then later it doesn't digest as it is. Then again after some time it feeds leisurely and brings back the food to the mouth again and chew it again. So this process of bringing back of food from the stomach from the stomach to the mouth is called as rumination. So the ruminants, how this process takes place. Here this process is seen in cows, buffaloes, goat, sheep, camel. These are all the animals that perform the rumination process. So digestion in grass eating animals, especially the animals which perform the rumination, here it takes place in 4 stages of them. They are, you see now, they contain normally rumen, that is present in their abdomen, rumen, reticulum, omasum and abomosum. See here, children, these are the 4 chambers present in the stomach of ruminants. These are the 4 chambers present in the stomach of ruminants. They are rumen, reticulum, omasum, abomosum. So this here, mainly when the grass-eating animals eat the grass, it reaches the rumen in the stomach, that is part of the rumen in the stomach, and then it forms the curd there in the rumen of the stomach. They do not eat, they do not chew the food at that time. Later, after the formation of the curd in the stomach, CUD curd, CUD curd, it forms curd in the rumen of the stomach. So, after that, the animal brings back the curd from the stomach, that is rumen of the stomach, to the mouth and chew it again. This process is called as rumination. So, hence these animals which eat grass, they are called as ruminants. In grass, there is a cellulose, that is a substance called cellulose, which we cannot digest as human beings, but these grass-eating animals like cow, buffalo, goat, sheep and all, they can digest this cellulose present in the grass, because a type of bacteria is present in the rumen of their stomach, which digests even the cellulose. So hence they can digest the cellulose also. We cannot, as a human beings, we cannot digest the cellulose because of the absence of that bacteria in our body. So we cannot digest the cellulose, but the ruminants can digest this cellulose. So this is about the rumination, children. Note down this. So remaining process as it is the same as the higher organisms. Now nutrition in human beings. Note down first this. Now children, the nutrition in human beings. You know very well that is nutrition in human beings is also Holozoic nutrition. Holozoic means we take solid food or liquid food, isn't it? Solid food, and both solid and liquid food we are being taken. And from outside, we are taking the food from outside, and the digestion takes place inside our body. For this process, we have several parts in our body to carry on. So food is taken from the mouth. It reaches from the esophagus, it reaches the stomach. From there, it again moves through the small intestine and then large intestine, and from the anus, the waste material comes up. So this is a digestive system process that you know very well. In the smaller classes also, we have learned about this, isn't it? So, we have learned it. And this is esophagus, stomach, this is large intestine. Of the small intestine comes the large intestine. As rough figure I am showing to you in the next class, I will show you completely how this process goes on, children. So, in today's class I will give you the introduction of esophagus. From the mouth, the food goes inside, reaches the esophagus and stomach. Okay, stomach, and from there it reaches there near the duodenum. We have a large liver, and here we have pancreas. See children, this is the human digestive system. This is the mouth. Food enters through the mouth. Inside the mouth there are teeth, which are again divided into 4 types, where the food is chewed thoroughly in the teeth, through the teeth, and 4 types of teeth: incisors, canines, premolars and molars are present in the teeth, which will explain you in detail now in the further classes. Okay. Now you see the different parts in our body which help for the digestion of food in our body. First, the food moves through the mouth and reaches the esophagus, that is food part. It is called as esophagus. Esophagus. From there, it reaches the stomach. There are various parts and digestive enzymes present in the stomach. This is bent part at the stomach. This is called as so here you can see the duodenum. Okay, this is duodenum. These are the glands, various glands present which secretes the digestive juices. This is liver. Largest gland in our body. So liver produces bile juice, pancreas produces pancreatic juice into the stomach. These are the digestive glands, okay, into the stomach. Okay, so this is the stomach. From there, the food digests in the stomach and reaches the small intestine. These are the small intestines, and from the small intestine, it reaches the large intestine. waste material reaches the large intestine. In the small intestine, the food is digested and assimilated, and then the waste material from the large intestine reaches the rectum and anus. So these are the different parts of our digestive system. Rectum and anus. Mouth, esophagus, liver, stomach, duodenum, pancreas, small intestine, large intestine, rectum and anus. Hope you can see well, ma, children. So this is about the human digestive system, children. Okay? So in the next class, I will tell you how the food is digested, through how the first food intake of food, what happens, digestion, absorption, assimilation and digestion, every process I will be explaining you detail in the next class. Okay children, so whatever we have studied in this class, you try to recall and come prepared for the next class. What is that we have studied? That is Holozoic nutrition in animals. Holozoic nutrition means intake of food from outside and digestion of the food inside the body. It takes place in animals. So in that we have studied about the rumination process. In the rumination process, the cows, buffaloes, sheep, goat, they take the grass, that is they are ruminants. They have the capacity to digest the cellulose that is present in the grass. That is enzyme, that bacteria that is present in their one of the chamber of the stomach, like you know it very well that it helps for the digestion of the that is cellulose. Okay, so in the next class I will proceed about the digestion in human beings. You know, first you try to know these words: esophagus, liver, pancreas, duodenum, small intestine, large intestine, rectum and anus. Okay children, so in the next class I will tell you about the various different forms of teeth present in the human beings, what are the functions of these different teeth present in our body, and how these glands help for the digestion of the food intake. Everything I will be explaining you in the next class. Okay children, have a nice day. Thank you.